The chatter of the well-dressed guests fills the air, and soft music flows through the speakers. Outside, a little black girl with a tattered jacket and scuffed shoes stands by the glass doors. She watches longingly at the luxury inside. Her face is tired, and her eyes hold a quiet desperation, but there's also a flicker of hope. As the door opens, she takes a deep breath and walks in. The waiter behind the counter looks up, his expression changing to one of surprise when he sees her. His glance shifts to the customers nearby, who don't seem to notice her, too absorbed in their own conversations. The girl walks hesitantly, unsure of where to go, her small hands shaking as she fidgets with the edges of her jacket. She sees an empty seat across from a tall, well-dressed man. He's reading through a document, a tall, white billionaire who appears lost in thought. The girl looks at him for a long moment, hesitating before finally gathering the courage to approach him. She clears her throat quietly, catching his attention. Her voice is small but clear. "Can I eat with you?" The billionaire looks up at her, his face expressionless at first. He glances at her tattered clothes and bare feet, his eyes scanning her frame with a mix of confusion and disbelief. There is no judgment in his eyes, but rather, a deep curiosity about the girl standing before him. His gaze softens slowly as he takes her in, and he lifts a hand to push his papers aside. The room goes silent for a moment, the background chatter fading. His eyes lock with hers, and she shifts uncomfortably. He notices the weariness in her face, the kind that comes from sleeping under the stars. Or from days of hunger, or perhaps from just surviving. After a long pause, he speaks. His voice is calm but with a hint of warmth. "Of course, you can," he says, motioning to the seat across from him. "Sit down." The girl's eyes widen with disbelief. She had expected rejection, a harsh look, maybe, even a cold no. Instead, he gestures for her to join him, and she hesitates for a second before quickly sliding into the chair. The billionaire smiles gently, offering her the menu. "I'll order for you," he says. The waiter, a young man, comes to take their order. He glances uneasily at the little girl, clearly surprised by the situation, but the billionaire gives a reassuring nod, his expression firm but understanding. As the waiter leaves, the little girl, still shocked by the kindness, struggles to find words. She looks down at the menu but doesn't speak. The billionaire notices her silence, and there's a hint of sadness in his eyes. "Are you hungry?" he asks, his voice soft but clear. She nods, barely able to hold back her tears. She hadn't expected to get anything at all, much less to sit in such a beautiful place. She had barely eaten for days, and now she was in a warm place, with food just within reach. He smiles kindly, his eyes warm. "What would you like to eat?" He gestures toward the menu. She looks at the options and, for a moment, can't choose. Then, almost shyly, she says, "Anything. Something warm." Her voice cracks slightly, but her smile breaks through the uncertainty in her heart. The billionaire nods, and the waiter returns with the ordered meal. The camera captures the quiet exchange, her tiny hands hesitating as she picks up the spoon, her face lit by the soft light from above, yet still holding a world of untold stories. As the meal continues, the billionaire watches her with a mixture of wonder and sorrow. She eats slowly, savoring each bite as if she hasn't tasted real food in weeks. The billionaire takes a moment to reflect on his own life. He's used to the finest foods, the best restaurants, the most luxurious places. But seeing this girl, so small and fragile, cherishing each bite of food, he feels a pang of guilt. He had taken it all for granted. She looks up at him, noticing his gaze. "You you're really rich, aren't you?" she asks, almost too softly for him to hear. He chuckles gently, breaking the heavy silence. "Yes," he says, "but that doesn't mean I'm happy." The little girl tilts her head, looking puzzled. "Why not?" He leans back, his eyes distant as he thinks. "I've spent so much of my life chasing things I thought would make me happy, money, power, success. But nothing feels as good as sharing a meal with someone, hearing their story." Her eyes soften, and she looks down at her plate. "I don't have anything to give," she says quietly. The billionaire shakes his head. "You don't need to. Sometimes, just being kind to someone is enough. You've already given me something I didn't know I needed." As the meal comes to a close, the little girl looks at him with an expression full of gratitude, a tear slipping down her cheek. She quickly wipes it away, embarrassed by her emotions. But the billionaire doesn't say a word. Instead, he pulls out his wallet, not to pay for the meal, but to do something much more meaningful. I want to help you, he says softly. I can't imagine what you've been through, but I can give you a chance. I'll make sure you have a place to stay, food to eat, and someone to take care of you. You deserve that. Her eyes widen in disbelief, and she opens her mouth, but no words come out. She never expected such kindness. No one had ever offered her a hand like this before. You're not alone anymore, he continues. I'll make sure of it. The little girl stands up to leave, her heart overflowing with emotions. She looks at him one last time, her small face brimming with hope, and she says, barely able to hold back the tears, thank you for seeing me. The billionaire stands, nodding gently. His expression is full of quiet admiration for her resilience. Thank you, too, for reminding me what really matters. She walks out of the restaurant, the wind catching her hair. She looks back at the man who changed her life, and for the first time, she believes that things can be better. She doesn't know what the future holds, but she knows that her story isn't over yet. The billionaire watches her leave, his heart filled with both sorrow and hope. He knows that this encounter has changed him forever. In his world of wealth and privilege, he had forgotten what true connection felt like, but in this moment, he had rediscovered it.